Hello and welcome to another episode of the Patriot Brothers. I'm your host and Patriot brother Zachary Smouse, and to my right is my brother and Patriot Duke Boynton. We have guests today, Terry Rattle and Duke's daughter Jaden. They will be joining us today to discuss their opinions about what's happening and what we should do to prepare for the future of the United States. I just want to start off with something that has been in my heart ever since Election Day. This quote is from The Black Swan by Nassim Taleb: collect opportunities, but don't chase trains. This is why I personally started this podcast, because I want to give the opportunity to people to know that they can fight this evil that we are facing today, and in the end, we will come out on top because of the kindness and light we have in our hearts.
Zach, I love it, buddy.
Brother.
Well said. Love it. Well, here it is, the third chapter of the Patriot Pods. Howdy, Scott. Love to see you, buddy. Thanks for jumping in and seeing this here. Oh, Willa.
Hey,
Zach has a huge fan base. You know, that's awesome. We love that. So I have my daughter down here, Jaden, and bringing her on this pod, I'm going to tell all of you guys, one of the reasons I put the call out to everybody out there was I wanted you folks to know that we want you on if you voice an opinion. And it could differ from ours, it could agree with ours, but I brought Jaden on because she's very, very strong in her feelings and how she came to light. And so, Jaden, tell us a little bit about you. You know, when did you become a patriot?
Well, when I first found out that Biden became president, I was not very happy. So I was like, there's something I should do. So I did a bunch of research on Biden and Trump, and I realized that, I think it'd be best if I became a Patriot. So
That's
I
awesome.
decided that I was going to be one, and ever since, it's been amazing. I love it.
Great. Hey, Jaden, while you're at it, show the folks your sweater or your hoodie. There we go. Trump 2020 and back the blue. We love it. And yes, you're right, Aquila. It is a battle of good versus evil. I've been preaching that. And so, Jane, I'm going to go on to my second question with you. What did you like about Trump, and what do you like about Trump?
Well, Trump has done probably the most out of all the presidents we've had in the past. He has helped with the learning education. I've realized he's helped get millions their jobs back. He's given millions their jobs. He did what he said he was going to do. He made America great again. That's exactly what he was doing.
That's right. And I think it's really cool. And I know you're my daughter. And so I pat myself on the back. There are a lot of folks who come to me and said, you've done a good job with Jaden. And being her dad, yes, absolutely, I've done a good job with her. But she's come to these conclusions on her own. And Jaden, you're what? You're 11 now, right?
I'm what?
You're 11 years old?
No, I'm 14.
Oh, 14. Sorry, I keep going back years every time. So here she is, 14 years old, and she's able to come to these conclusions. Why? Because she does her own research. It's nothing that is really something that I put out there in the house, because everybody has their own beliefs. And to talk politics all the time with the family kind of gets boring. And so Jaden has come to these beliefs by herself. It's blown me away. It's blown my whole family away. And it's like, oh, wow, you're going to be the next president of the United States. Well, at least when you turn, I think, 35. So, Jaden, let me ask you another question here. How do you voice your opinion to folks? What do you say to them?
If I see an opinion that I don't agree with, I'm going to say something. If it's something that is false information, I'm also going to speak up, because I see a lot of people out there throwing out false information about Biden and Trump, that, especially Trump, people are really putting a bad name on Trump for no reason at all. From what I've seen, Trump is doing a lot better than Biden has been doing. I think it's very good to voice your opinion in any way. It shouldn't really matter what other people have to say about your opinion, because that's your opinion and you have a right to say it. there's the First Amendment, the right of freedom of speech.
That's right. That's right. And one of the things that I've always preached, and especially in my own household, is that we are human beings and we have a right to speak up.
Yep.
And I want everybody to speak up. You know, we can't be silenced. Liberal media is trying to silence us, and it can't happen. It won't happen. The police state is here, but there is resistance to that police state. So we're not going to put up with that bull crap. So we're going to speak up. Hey, thanks, Aquila. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, by the way. Just awesome, though. Thank you. Thank you. He's one of the pride and joys of my family here. Zach, you got something too? No? So I'm going to ask you again, Jaden, though. Are you proud to be an American?
Yes, I would not want it any other way. I'm very proud to be an American. I'm very proud that I am living in such an amazing country that unfortunately is not doing a great place due to Biden and what he has planned for us. I don't agree with much that he has to do.
Right. I agree. And one of the cool things is I was just reading the Rasmussen poll, now that you bring up Biden. And let me give you guys this poll. So when President Trump exited, his approval rating by the Rasmussen poll was 51%. Do you know what Biden's entrance poll was? 48%. So Donald Trump on his way out had a higher approval rating than Biden's initial day as president. Bingo. And that's kind of what Jaden's talking about, this whole entire Biden bullcrap thing. Yeah, I love it. Love the insight, Jaden. And put more in there, you know, what you learned, what you want to talk about, all that type of good stuff. And Terry, you too, buddy.
Hey, I just know within the first couple hours of his presidency, he totally screwed Western Canada.
That Keystone Pipeline, man.
My prime minister did nothing about it.
Yeah, Trudeau, right?
Donald Trump slapped tariffs on Quebec steel and ore and aluminum. What did Trudeau? He immediately counter-tariffed the United States.
Right.
Biden shuts down a $100 billion project and we get nothing.
Right. I know. And here we are. Aquila saying, I have 6 kids and they've always told them their input is just as important as the adults. I have too. And kids have something to say if we will only give them a chance to listen. Don't talk at your kids, talk to them or with them. And I agree. I mean, this is why Jaden's on the pod tonight, because her voice means a lot to me. Now, her being my kid, if she was a diehard liberal and loved Joe Biden, of course you don't. Just saying, putting that out there. I still want them to speak their mind because, by God, the First Amendment is the way to.
Oh, Trudeau.
Trudeau.
Yeah.
Trudeau. It's okay.
Trudeau. Yeah. We could call him that up here. I don't mind. He's been called a lot worse in Canada, that's for sure.
At least he's not called True Dad. But yeah, Terry. I mean, this whole thing about that pipeline deal, it not only hurt Americans, but it's hurting Canada now, and horrible, absolutely horrible. I mean, to do the first thing as president to cancel jobs in the midst of a pandemic. This dude, no, that was not him signing it. That was the strings that are pulling him. And well, it could have been him, but he's not smart enough. He doesn't have the brain capacity to figure out exactly what he did. So he's a puppet, and the puppet master is making him do this. Oh, dad jokes.
Well, when you have the premier of Alberta, which is basically like the governor of a state, going on Twitter, going on Twitter, and calling out the U.S. president for basically canceling jobs and relying on dictator oil. That's the way the premier of Alberta put it.
Right.
Joe Biden wants to rely on dictator oil. Wants to support countries that do not have a great human rights
Right.
past. They don't,
Ter-
it doesn't make
Terry,
sense.
Terry, I don't know if we touched on this yet. If you want to tell the folks that are watching, and we do get quite a few. We get, a church full. Tell them where you're from and the party that's representing Canada right now.
So I'm from northern Alberta, which is in Western Canada. It's oil, logging, farming, all of which are codependent on each other. You can't run a logging truck without fuel. You can't harvest crops without diesel. And yeah, Alberta's all blue, which is conservative.
Right, which is weird in our country because it's backwards. When you told me that.
Well, yeah, when you guys told me you wanted to make Colorado a red state, I'm like, what the hell? I thought you guys were Republican. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Right.
But the way the population base is in Canada, the Liberals are always going to have a chance to get more seats in Parliament because all the population is in Toronto, southeastern Ontario, southern Quebec.
Right.
The only thing we have out here as far as like a big population base is Vancouver. And they're all New Democrats, which is even worse than the Liberals.
Right. Oh, no, I'm right there with you. And Scott, great, very good observation there. Well, Biden is sponsored by the military industrial complex. And if you guys want to know what the military industrial complex is, and Scott, you could kind of help me out here in the comments if you want. That's a complex that is not just military. Okay, there's a lot behind that. And if you look at it globally, it kind of makes sense. And so, in my opinion, that's kind of a nice way of putting that Biden is within the New World. And that, yeah, we should decentralize the federal government, in my opinion. We should have done that a long time ago. Scott, I'm right there with you. The federal government, as a matter of fact, the Federal Reserve, that was one of the worst things that happened to America. Back in the day, the banknote used to say United States of America. Now it says Federal Reserve. And so trying to get away from that whole federalist mentality, less government is best government. That's for sure, right? I mean, even Ronald Reagan came out and said, if you hear from the government, we're here to help you, get worried, right? So you need to get away from the mentality that the government is here for you, because honestly, they're not. They're against you.
That definitely can be said for Western Canada, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, any nation. We could go back to World War II and, we could dissect what happened there. Any nation that is under complete government control ends up bad. Look at Venezuela right now. Venezuela is not one of those countries you even want to go visit at this point in time. But they're a communist regime. Those who trade security for freedom, that needs to be in a Bible somewhere. Those who trade security for freedom deserve neither. And that was one of the founding fathers said the downfall of our country will be when our rights of individuals will go away under the guise of safety. And what's happening now with the pandemic? It's the guise of safety.
Protocols.
Even Joe Biden, in one of his stupid executive orders, put out that 100-day mask mandate. And then literally 45 minutes later is seen at the Lincoln Memorial taking pictures with everybody without a mask. How the hell does that work? You can't put out a mandate to people, say you have to wear a mask for 100 days, and then photo op 45 minutes later without a mask. I don't get it. If it was Trump, they'd be like, oh, that's evil. Trump's going to hell now because of what he signed and what he's doing. But Biden's not getting that recognition of being that stupid, idiotic person. Okay, rant over. Sorry.
Hey, I don't know the exact numbers, but there was a number of members of parliament that were forced to retire because they went to places that were warm at Christmas, when basically everybody else in the frickin' country is supposed to be staying in their house, only go out for food.
Oh yeah.
All the restaurants are shut down. All the hair salons are shut down. Everything's shut down.
Right.
But these pricks can go on vacation and come back and don't have to face quarantine. Don't have to do any of that.
Nothing. Terry, the mayor of Denver, I think his name is Michael Hancock, I think. I don't pay attention to him. He's not in my realm, but he's still in Colorado. He put out a mandate before Thanksgiving. Don't travel. We know it's going to be hard. You want to visit family, but don't travel. Don't fly. Stay at home. Stay at home. And what does he do? He flies off over to the South and visits his family. It's this double standard. This is the hypocrisy I'm talking about. And then he comes back and he says, oh, I'm going to quarantine for 14 days. I realize my actions were not as my words were. And so please forgive. It's like, wait a minute. No, you want that ultimate control and it has to be done. Done with the control. Scott coming in. I have gone into Target without mask and no one says anything. Scott, I've done the same at Walmart as well. Matter of fact, given what I do for a living, I put my mask on for my client's sake, okay, not for my sake. And I have a business to run, so I don't want somebody going to like our local newspaper saying, "Oh, my pest control guy entered our house without a mask." Okay, you see how bad that would be for business. So yeah, but I've gone into many stores without a mask on. And here's Aquila saying, as a Marine, I have been to Venezuela and Panama. Not good places as far as government goes. Great people, but the government sucks. And Aquila and anybody here, Jaden, you included, and Terry, do you want to become Panama or Venezuela? That's the way we're headed right now. The first thing that Venezuela did was silence its people. It became a punishable offense if you spoke out against that government. And the Chinese did the same to their people as well. Don't speak out against us. We'll arrest you. And that's where it's coming down to in America right now. Arrest. They want to arrest Donald Trump for him speaking his mind. They call it he incited violence. There was nothing in his rhetoric that ever incited violence. In fact, he proved otherwise. But yet, because he said, this is what we're doing, American people, Patriot Party, MAGA, they want to consider that inciting violence. And that's the guys that are going to put the handcuffs on you, is if you say anything they disagree with, they're going to spin it to make it look like you created a crime, and they're going to arrest you because you incited violence. I see where this is going, and it's not cool. It's not good. Speak up, speak loud. Go ahead, Zach.
This government scares me because of the way they treated our troops in the first 3 days.
Yeah, they put their asses in an empty garage. And what did Donald Trump do? Okay, Donald Trump came out and said, you guys ain't sleeping in a garage. I have Trump Tower over here. I'll ship you down here. You can go sleep in Trump Tower. But the Democrats wanted them cooped up in a cold, not very cool. I mean, it was horrible to put our troops, our National Guard in that situation. Oh man, I'm sorry, but that was horrible. But God bless Trump. He's the one that came out and said, "Nope, I'm offering up Trump hotels." And if you don't believe it, you guys can look it up. It's even on Google. Jaden, what do you think about that?
The whole Trump being arrested thing. I personally think that he should not be arrested because he hasn't done anything wrong. But then there's Biden over here letting, who knows, full-grown men into children's bathrooms. Like, men can now go into females' bathrooms, which is absolutely disgusting because this is basically letting men take advantage of being able to see naked women, which is absolutely horrible.
Agreed.
And of Biden being a horrible pedophile towards children, and there's videos, there's a lot of proof on that. There's voters fraud on Biden. Nobody's doing anything about it because they think Biden is a good president when they're gonna realize soon enough that they really messed up getting Biden.
I agree. That can't say anything against that. Well done. Again, Jaden going with her knowledge. And this is stuff she looked up. This isn't anything that I've told her. Trust me, normally the arguments in the house is go do the dishes. And so this is really just her speaking her mind, and it's true. You know, you're talking, one of the other executive orders that Joe Biden signed into effect was you can now be that transgendered person and enter the military. Why is that so important to him? You know, I know Trump said no, that ain't going to happen, and he nixed that. And then first day again in one of those 130 executive orders he signed, you know, now it's okay to be transgendered and be in the military again. And so his priorities are way off. You know, I don't understand where he's coming from. I mean, it's just downright nasty. Yeah, Scott, she will be. And this has been talked about in so many platforms throughout. And again, Harris will be president in 6 months. Kamala, sorry, everybody who knows wrestling, I call her Kamala. And RIP Kamala. Oh, by the way, while I'm on the RIP thing, I'm not a big fan of his, but my grandma was, and we all loved him. But a shout out to the King family. Larry King passed away today. I believe he was 87 years old.
87, yeah.
Yeah, 87. He was actually kind of the middle of the line, dry in my opinion. But my grandma, who passed away, I believe at the age of 86, every time Larry King came on, she was zoomed in. And that's where I got my first taste of him. So RIP, Larry King, King family prayers, everything go out to you. You know, sorry we lost a very good man in America history, especially as a Republican side. But back to Shelby Harris. God, here I am on my Bronco. Back to Kamala Harris. Yeah, I see her becoming president in 6 months, if not sooner. Biden, have a tough time saying President Biden, but you know, whatever. Biden had already said if him and Kamala Harris get into an argument, he's just going to claim some disease and step down. He let that cat out of the bag about a month ago, 2 months ago. Yeah, that was sad. That was sad. Hearts out to him. Hearts out to him. No, Larry King was definitely a cool dude. Before your time, you never got a chance to see him, but that's my bad. You ought to go YouTube him. Just do the best of Larry King lives, and you'll understand what I'm talking about.
The thing I liked about him, it didn't matter who he had on. Celebrity, politician, athlete. He always treated him. It didn't matter what he thought about him. There's always respect.
Right. That's right.
He'd get some good answers out of guys. Like my grandma loved him too.
Oh yeah. He was the definition of bipartisan. Scott, I think it's too late for them to use the 25th Amendment. I may be wrong, though. I think it had to be at the time that the sitting vice president had to invoke it. And I don't think they could use the 25th Amendment at this time. I may be wrong, but that's just my understanding. And to be quite honest with you, this impeachment, I was under the understanding that you could only impeach a sitting president. Yeah, that was my understanding of how the Constitution was written. And so for them to continue on this path of impeaching Trump as now a private citizen, that tells me that at any given time on Biden, thank you, Scott. Good. Yeah, you're right, on Biden. And they probably will, which is not a good thing because Kamala is not. But just to impeach Trump as a private citizen means that Congress can go after any American citizen and impeach them. That's scary. You know, that kind of tells me, God, you know, if Nancy Pelosi doesn't like Jaden Boynton and what she says, she's going to impeach her, right? Because that's where President Trump is at this point in time. And I've had quite a few attorneys say, yeah, what they're doing right now is outside the Constitution. And so I don't know. I'm not a constitutional lawyer. Maybe there's some provisions in there that allows you to impeach private citizens, but I've never heard of that. You know, and as was brought up, the 25th Amendment coming against Biden, I think that'll come before any impeachment. Although that one congresswoman already filed the articles of impeachment against Biden on the 21st. And rules for thee, but not for me. Amen.
Trust me, I know that one all too well.
Yep, that's right. Zach, you got something too, buddy? Nice. Jaden, you want to add anything?
I want to bring up that I've realized the people who voted for Biden are very selfish. I've noticed a lot of the LGBTQ members voted for him so that way they did not lose their rights. But I think that's all they wanted was not to lose their rights. But they're not thinking about other rights that they need to have, like the gun rights going to be taken away. If you have a gun, you could go to jail. There's a lot that they voted so they didn't. What I've seen a lot from people who voted for Biden voted for them so they would not lose their rights. But Trump had 4 years to take the rights away and did not do that. Another thing that I'm saying is the second we say Biden is not our president, they say get over it. But didn't they say for 4 years Trump is not our president and Trump will not be our president? Now it's our turn to speak up and do something about it.
Good point.
I love my daughter. Again, 100% spot on. You know, and when it comes to the LGBTQ, LMX, ABC, whatever community, one of the things that Jaden pointed out was, you know, they're afraid their rights are going to be taken away, but they're already protected. They have the same rights as every American out there. You know, so what they want are more rights than people that don't practice that act that they practice. And they don't want to put it under, you know, the same, they're protected under the same rights that I'm protected under. So yeah, okay, cool. That's your sexual orientation. That's the route you want to go. But let me tell you something. You don't get more rights than me because of where you put it. You know, it just doesn't work that way. And they think that they're being discriminated against, but it's not. Jaden, take this question. You got to read it out loud.
The same people who voted for Biden are the same ones who are okay with 9-month abortion, and it disgusts me. That is absolutely disgusting because the second you become pregnant, that child is already a living thing. It's not just a bunch of bacteria or cells in one thing. That is a living thing. Abortion is murder, and I will say it over and over again. Abortion is a very messed up thing to do. You are killing an innocent child. If you were, just think about it, you know, you can't do anything as a small child, a thing. You can't stop it. You're killing an innocent thing, and it disgusts me so much. It's just very wrong and not something that could be done. And that's one of the evil things that's come into our world, is that you can give birth to a child and they leave it on the table to die.
That's right. That's right. One of the governors, I believe it was Vermont. You guys look it up and tell us in the comments below. But one of the governors said, you could go ahead and give birth to that baby, and we'll put that baby on a table for a little bit and give it a pill to make it feel okay. And then we'll give the parents time to decide if that baby's going to stay alive or not.
Oh,
after it's born. After it's born. Birth, plain and simple. Abortion is murder.
Abortion is murder, and it will
That's
always
right.
be a murder. Nothing will change my mind about it, because that is taking away an innocent child's life.
That's right. And it's sad. You know, who do we have in the house right now, Jaden?
Layla.
Layla Blair. Who is, I believe, she'll be what, 4 months in January? Opal, if you're listening, I think she'll be 4 months January 27th, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Could you imagine having that little baby out on the table when she was born, and then Opal or anybody else, you know, associated with her would decide if she was going to live or die?
No trans person that doesn't want more rights voted for Trump.
Okay, and Scott, I'm there with you. I know a couple of them too. Go ahead, Jane. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. A lot of Biden people who are on Biden's side are very, very selfish. I remember going over something with Grandma at her house, and there was the freedom of rights, the freedom of your rights. Murdering a child, that is taking away their rights. Your body, your choice. It's no longer just your body when you're pregnant. You are sharing a body with another human being. You have to think about what you're doing with your body before you decide to kill off the baby. It's just absolutely disgusting that abortion is even a thing.
I know. Yep, and look at what abortion has done to the Black community. And Aquila, with that said, Planned Parenthood, I think the numbers for Black abortions at Planned Parenthood is somewhere, You guys knocked me, put it in the comments, but I think it's upwards in the 70 percentile of abortions performed at Planned Parenthood are by the black folks of the community. And look, it's the dumbing down of America, and it started with Roe v. Wade. You know, we'll just allow people that right to just kill anybody.
Yep.
You know, that's where it starts.
I'm pretty sure abortion is one of the highest leading things to deaths of humans. It's all BS. It's just cells at 8 weeks. No, my daughter had a heartbeat at 4 weeks. Anything with a heartbeat is a living thing. Absolutely right. If you think killing something with a heartbeat is not murder, then you are absolutely wrong, because
That's right.
that thing is living. That thing is now a part of you. It's no longer your body, your choice. It's your body and the baby's choice. You are now sharing your body with
Another life.
living.
And life is precious. And one of the, you know, with the abortion thing, I understand there are circumstances where it can't be helped. Either, you know, baby's life or mom's life. I understand that. I mean, I'm not 100%, you know, you better not do that. Yeah, there's going to be situations where it happens. And normally, naturally, sometimes there are things called natural abortion. And, you know, kind of a rough thing to talk about in my house because it's happened to one of my daughters. But, you know, it's one of those things in life, though. If you don't cherish life at the beginning, you will never cherish life throughout the rest of your life. You know, it's just a thing to throw away. But, you know, that's to be said in a different pod. We could probably go on for another 2 hours with this one. But I think it's awesome that Jade and Terry, you guys have come in. And I'm putting a call out to the rest of the guys that are watching us on YouTube or anywhere else. If you have any desire to come on the pod, and I don't care what your beliefs are, if you want to get into a heated discussion, let's do it, but let's keep it civil. Come on, you know, we'll get you on. And everybody has a right to voice their opinion. This is not just a podcast of, you know, just me and Zach or Terry or Jaden. This is a podcast where we want you to come on. We want you to voice your opinion and, you know, and have a good time at it too. You know, there's so many issues going on in the world today. It doesn't necessarily, well, like with Terry down in Canada, you know, how the Keystone Pipeline.
In Canada.
Yeah, up in Canada, down in Canada. Sorry, I meant to say, just kidding. But the Keystone Pipeline are hurting folks in Canada, and so Terry can come on and verifiably say, "So we're getting hurt here." Zach, what's up, buddy?
Abortion is like my birth. I was born dead for 27 minutes, and abortion is like my parents giving up on me and not fighting for my life.
Absolutely.
Amen to that. 27 minutes dead. Well, wow, Zach, are you still dead?
No, he's 27. He's 27 years old.
He's 27 years old. And so, man, Zach, that's 100% spot on, buddy. There you have it. If anybody wants to argue with that, you'll have to come through me.
I'd have to drive up through Canada too.
Yeah. And Jaden too. She could hold her own. Trust me, I know. No lives matter until abortions are illegal. Actually, that's a profound statement there, Scott. I can't disagree. I cannot disagree with that, man. Scott, you've been pretty, all of you guys, as well as Scott, all of you, reach out to Zach. You know, we'll put you on the pod, you know, so that way you can go ahead and, you know, talk about it here and there. We'd love to have you in every once in a while. That would be awesome. I know Zach would be cool with it. Terry would be. Jaden would be.
Absolutely.
Matter of fact, there's going to be some times where I can't make the Patriot pod, and I'm going to give Jaden the reign to take my spot.
Hey.
Uh-oh, I put you on the spot, you know.
Nice.
So you guys, you jump in, but let Zach know he's the one. He's a Wizard of Oz. He's the guy behind the curtain making this show run. I just give financially to make sure that he is hooked up pretty good to make sure it happens. So yeah, go through Zach there. He'll give his email eventually. I think he's done it already in one of the comments that you could get a hold of him. I don't remember it off the bat. Go ahead, Zach.
The email is in the About section in the channel.
Okay, it's in the, okay. So just click that little arrow down and his email will be in there. And if you guys are interested in coming on, I mean, some folks may be camera shy. Don't be camera shy. It's not a big deal. You know, we don't care how you look. We don't judge anybody. That's not what we do. And if anybody judges you in, you know, a whole different world of like chat sections and live sections, we'll deal with them accordingly. And cool, yeah, wow, respect to you too, man.
Absolutely.
And that's really, in my opinion, that's pointed at Zach. You know, he again, I can't tell you how much I love that brother. And actually, it was Terry that introduced us to each other. Yeah. And so, if you guys are interested in something else that we talk about, we also have a Bronco podcast. No politics involved. It's called Brothers in Blue and Orange. You could check us out on
Orange
YouTube.
and Blue.
No,
Orange and
Brothers
Blue.
in Orange and Blue. I'm using the blue and orange now. Okay, orange is a thing of the past with the Broncos, but yeah, come on out, check that out too. It's kind of the same type of but we just really discuss Bronco football, and you know, when the Broncos aren't playing, we discuss NFL football and all that type of good stuff. Which is, by the way, I think coming on at 1:30, so here pretty soon. And Jaden said I'm out like football, so that's yours.
Are you the one that doesn't like bacon too?
No, that's my.
Oh, okay.
Sister.
Okay.
Yeah, Jaden's my little
bacon. You're good then. You're good. No, it's been fun.
Yeah. Yeah. My son didn't breathe for 6 minutes and he is still alive. Praise God. God. There we go. Yeah. Miracles at work. And I'm not going to go on this miracle train because I hear people use that term miracle way too loosely. But folks like Zach, Scott, folks like your son, those are the miracles. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A football game and a guy throwing a football really good is not a miracle.
Nope.
Okay. What you're talking about here is a miracle.
Like
and
the miracle in Minneapolis a couple of years ago. That's not a miracle.
That's not a miracle. It was just a good play, right?
Yeah.
You know, Zach's a miracle. Every single one of my daughters are a miracle. You know, every life born is a miracle. And Scott, thank you for sharing that with us. I appreciate that, buddy. I hope he's doing well right now and giving you help because that's what sons do, right? Oh, a Vikings fan. Hey, okay. No disrespect with that, buddy. It's still possible.
Sorry about Peyton. Sorry about Peyton.
Yeah, we stole Peyton from you, man. GM Peyton now. So, anyways, Layla is screaming at the phone saying hi, everybody. Layla, and she's my granddaughter. She's 4 months old now, and she's Grandpa's girl, but Grandma will definitely fight me on that one tooth and nail. Anyways, unless guys and gal, if you have anything else to say, we could call this a wrap. That's right. Like, share, and subscribe.
Awesome.
Appreciate you guys coming on, especially on a Saturday afternoon. And a lot of work goes into this with Zach. So hats off to you, buddy. And I love you guys. I love the Patriot Nation. I love the American nation. I love the Canadians up there, Terry. My Canadian brother through and through. And daughter, Absolutely. Thank you for coming on, sweetheart. I appreciate it. I love how you said your mind.
That's awesome.
Awesome job.
Very awesome job.
Well, thank you for having me. Hopefully, I'll be able to join another one. That was fun.
Absolutely. Like I said, there will be times where I need you to fill in for me. So.
Okay.
Like, okay, you're like, okay, you better pay me, Dad.
Yeah.
I'll let
what's
you
my appearance fee?
All righty, Patriots.
All right.
Love you guys.